Hello and welcome. My name is Arianna Ross and I am a nationally renowned storyteller and the executive director of an organization called Story Tapestries. And today we are going to take a trip around the world and back in time. We are going to need to use our imagination. In order for us to do this though, I need everybody's help. I need you to unzip your imagination. Ready everyone? Unzip it. Zzz. I need you to unhook your imagination. I need you to reach inside and grab a little piece of your imagination. Ready? Don't grab the whole thing, just a little piece. Slap your hands. Stretch your imagination. Stretch, and some Stretch, and some I want you to take your imagination and turn it into a round ball and hold it high above your head. On the count of 3, we're going to throw our imagination out into this room. Are you ready? Help me out now. 1, 2, 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Captain Ross. I'm captain this here airplane. I need you to please buckle your seatbelts, buckle your seatbelts. In a moment, we are going to take off for our first destination. We are heading to Alaska. Now, normally in Alaska, it is extremely cold. But I will say it is July, so it is a little bit less cold in the valley. It's freezing cold on the top of the mountains. Are you ready? Let's get started, please. Please grab, if you want, an instrument. If not, grab your imaginary airplane steering wheel. When you take off, I need you to make the loudest, most dramatic airplane noises you can possibly make. Are you ready? Help me out now. 1, 2, 3. Oh! I think we've made it. Everywhere I look, there are tall mountains. And the crazy part about those mountains is that there is snow on top of them. Thank goodness there's no snow on the ground. A long time ago, in Alaska, in a small, tiny town, there lived a little girl. Her name was Sarah. Sarah's favorite activity in the world was to look out the window. She loved looking out the window, especially in the summertime when the sun hardly ever set and it looked like the sky was painted with colors. She imagined that one day she would become an astronaut and she would dance with the stars and slide down the Aurora Borealis. She was going to slide down the Aurora Borealis. She desperately wanted to do that. Well, one night she was leaning out and she saw it. She saw the stars. They looked like they were dancing upon her pond. She ran downstairs. Mom, Dad, I'll be back. 2 minutes. And ran outside. When she got to the lake, she realized the stars, they weren't dancing on the water. They were just reflecting on the water. Didn't look like very much fun. She started to walk away when she saw a beautiful fish jump out of the water. Its scaly skin looked like it glowed in the dark. It looked like the lights of the stars reflected upon the skin. She started to complain to the fish. You know, fish, I just wanted to dance with the stars. That's all I've ever wanted to do, and it didn't seem fair. The fish responded. Well, if you wish to dance with the stars, you should have asked a long time ago. I would have told you. All you need to do is go to the center of the field. In the center of the field, you will find the fairies. And when you meet the fairies, you should ask them, what is the riddle? What do you need to do to dance with the stars? But be careful. If you should fall under the fairies' spell, you will never find out. Thank you, fish. Thank you very much for those instructions. I will follow them to a T. She walked into the middle of her fields. At first she thought the fish had tricked her. She didn't see any fairies. She saw fireflies flitting in and out. And that is when she heard the music. Oh, it was wonderful music. She found herself swaying to the music. Those fairies had completely tricked Sarah. She was under their spell for over an hour before finally she woke up. Whoa, wait a second. Fairies, please stop. Okay, what do you need? I assume you came to us for a need. It was fun to watch you dance. You like to dance. You are very, very good at dancing. Fairies, the fish told me to ask you to give me instructions on how I could dance with the stars. Oh, it is a difficult path to take. You must be brave. You see, you have to solve a riddle, and when you solve the riddle, you will get to the stars. You must figure out which creature has 4 legs, and will take you to the next creature who has no legs, who will take you to the stairs without steps. Okay, I'm going to repeat that back to you so I remember it. I need to find the creature with 4 legs, who will take me to the creature with no legs, who will take me to the stairs without steps. Yes. And when you do, you will reach the stars. Sarah looked around. She lived on a farm. There were a lot of creatures with 4 legs. Was it the cow? Moo. No. She knew that she could climb on the cow, but the cow would take her a long time to reach anywhere. That wasn't going to work. What about the pig? Yep, you guessed it. No. The dog? When she was little, she would climb on the dog's back. The German Shepherd? No. And suddenly she had an idea. She knew exactly which creature it was. She ran towards the barn. She found inside her father. He was grooming the horse, Sam. Papa, Mommy's calling you. You need to go inside. I'll finish. Okay. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it. She started to groom the horse. And then she waited. And then she leaned over. Excuse me, horse. Do you speak English? Nay. Well, even though maybe you don't speak English, you might understand this. The fairies told me to ask you to take me to the creature with no feet. If you wish, nay, to go to the creature with no feet, you must climb on my back, and you must be brave. Wait a second, I thought you didn't speak English. Nay, I never said that. She climbed onto the horse's back, and the horse started to go. Clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clop. Ready, help me out now with a clippity, cloppity, clippity, clop, clippity, cloppity, clop. You do it with me, ready? If you have an instrument, you can use an instrument at home, or you can do it on your legs. Clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clop. Ready? Clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clop. Clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clop. They went over hill after hill, after mountain, after hill, after mountain, after hill, after... You get the pattern? Hill after hill, after mountain, after hill. Just like that. Clippity, cloppity, clippity, clop, clippity, cloppity, clop. By the time they stopped, they were at the ocean. Sarah had never been to the ocean in her entire life. She barely had time to say, thank you, to the horse before he took off. stood at the water's edge. There were still some ice chunks in the water. It would be awfully cold in the water. She saw a seal. Oh, no, that's not a seal. Silly her. A penguin. She saw a penguin. But she realized that a penguin had feet. She saw a polar bear. Started to back away. She saw all kinds of fish. And that is when she saw a creature that didn't belong in her ocean, for some reason was there today. A dolphin. She cried out, "Dolphin! Dolphin!" Help me out now, please. Dolphin! When the dolphin finally appeared, Sarah looked at the dolphin. "Excuse me, dolphin. The fairy told me to ask you to take me to the stairs without steps." "I will take you to the stairs without steps, but you must be brave." Sarah knew how to swim, but not perfectly. It was awfully cold. She climbed onto the dolphin's back, and the dolphin jumped in and out of the water. Sarah found her clothes getting splashed. When the dolphin stopped, Sarah looked around. There was nothing nearby. I mean, not even a glacier, not an ice peak, nothing. I mean, except for the reflection of the moon. Get off, get off, get off. Be brave, be brave, be brave. For you will not sink. You will only climb. Okay, I'm brave. I got this. And with that, she stepped off. And she didn't sink. She did not sink into the ground. She landed on something hard. She landed on a whale. I mean, it was definitely a whale. She sat down on top of the whale and wondered how she was going to get up to the sky when she felt this and she found herself being shot into the air and then landing on a cloud. She found herself feeling a little sleepy. She leaned back on the cloud and actually went to sleep. She never got to dance with the stars. She found herself drifting on a cloud and resting. Sarah woke up at the start. She heard a voice. It was crying out, "Sarah! Sarah!" She looked down. She wasn't in a cloud. She was laying on her bed. She reached down and she felt the bottom of her pajama nightgown. She was in her bed. Did she dream it all? Or did it really happen? It is up for you to decide. Please take your hands like this and bring that story to a close. Give yourselves a round of applause, a pat on the back. My friends, it is time for us to travel to our next destination, the islands of Indonesia. If you're ready, please, let's grab our airplane, sit up tall like I did. 1, 2, 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Captain Ross. Captain Ross, I need everyone to please buckle your seatbelts, buckle your seatbelts. Please grab your airplane steering wheel. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa, I think we've made it. Everywhere you look, there are tall, tall coconut trees. Oh, I love coconuts. Take a piece of fabric, tie it around a tree, and you can climb up. Ready? Let's climb up. Up and up and up and up and up. When you get to the top, lean back a little. Don't worry, your cloth should support you. And grab a hold of a green coconut. Cut off the top. Now I want you, because we went up, we need to go down. Ready? Go down and down and down and down and down. Cut off the top. A long time ago, there lived a giant. Now, let me clarify something. When Kiba was born, he wasn't a giant. He was actually a tiny little baby, ordinary baby. His family, in fact, they loved him. They loved him so much. And Kiba, he loved them. But he started to grow. And I say but. Normally it's a good thing, right? The problem with Kiba is he never stopped growing. He kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing until finally his head was actually as tall as the tallest volcano. He was so tall that his head hit the clouds. By the time he was an adult, and he did finally stop growing, he could eat in one meal what 10,000 of you would eat in one day. Some said that Kiba was a kind giant, for you could give him a set of stones and he would build a tall, tall house. Some, however, said that he was a mean giant. Horrible. When he got hungry, he would get grumpy and he would jump up and down and up and down, and the ground underneath him would shake and shiver. It didn't matter too much, because Bali was a relatively green island. There was lots and lots of rice to eat and lots of vegetables. Kiba only liked rice and vegetables. He didn't like fish. He didn't like chicken. He didn't even like beef. He really only loved to eat rice and vegetables. Rice and vegetables. That is what he loved. Which was no problem for the villagers. They kept a storage hut filled with rice and vegetables. Except that one year, you see, let me back up a second. Every year the rains came down, and they came down like this. Drip, drop, drip, kaboom. Drip, drop, drip, kaboom. Drip, drop, drip, kaboom. But that year was strange. The rain didn't come down like that. It was more like drip, drip. And after a while, it wasn't even like that. It was more like, I know you can barely hear that. It was more like, you had to strain to see the drops from the clouds come down. And the plants that normally grew beautifully, try it with me, normally grew beautifully, were actually like, not coming out, no. I mean, really, the ground is too hard, too dry, too much sun, not enough rain, I'm not coming. People, they had a storage hut, so they had enough food for a little while. But after that season passed, and the next rainy season, there was another drought. People didn't know what to do. Kiba started to get hungry. He started to jump up and down and up and down, and the ground underneath him shook and shivered. People thought, this is a disaster. They grabbed their tong-chong drums, and they began to beat them, calling together all members of the community. Help me out now, ready? Just like that. They cried out to each other as they gathered in one spot. Salamat siang. Good afternoon. Try that with me. Ready? Salamat siang. They gathered together in one spot. And one woman said, I think we ought to fight him. What are we going to do? One man said. We are not even as big as his foot. His foot is almost as big as your horse. It's huge! That's fine! We can fight him! The people, they kept on arguing until finally they decided to send one brave group of men and women to speak with Kiba'ula. They walked over to Kiba'ula and he gave them one mean look. And immediately, they began to run. They raced away as fast as they possibly could, and then they hid. Kiba'ula, he was hungry. He didn't like to run. He definitely did not like to race. He was so hungry that after a while he just gave up, sat back down, put his head back, and fell asleep. See if you can snore like a giant. Meanwhile, back in the village, they grabbed the tong-tong drum again. Just like that. Again, one woman said, "What are we gonna do? This is ridiculous. He's jumping up and down. At one point, he's gonna destroy all of our houses. I think we ought to fight him. We can trick him. We can lure him out to where the volcano is and we can trap him." Kiba'ula's parents were there. He's our son. He's just tired and he's hungry. We cannot trap our son. Besides, I've told you now, we are not even as big as his foot. We are tiny in comparison to him. How can we trick him? They continued to argue like that for hours upon hours upon hours. Until finally, they decided that they would send a group of people to trick Kiba'ula. While they were planning this trick, an old man was shaking his head. Tricks don't fix things. They just hurt people. The old man grabbed what seemed like nothing at all. His instrument, his thumb piano. He began to play it. It was simple. The minute he started playing, the children, they grew quiet first. He turned with his instrument and he began to walk towards Kiba'ula, who was sleeping. The adults just simply paid no attention, except for the man and woman who were Kiba'ula's parents. They followed behind the old man as he played. Kiba'ula was starting to wake up. "That's nice, I like that. It's good, I like music." He played him a little more. After a few moments, Kiba'ula opened his eyes back up. He was startled to see all these children and this old man and his parents staring at him. "What are you doing here?" "Kiba'ula," the old man spoke, "we do not like the way you are behaving. We wish for you to change. We wish for you to rebuild all the houses you destroyed while you were jumping up and down. And then we wish for you to dig us a huge hole in the ground and fill it with water. Because if we have water, our plants will grow." "But I'm hungry." "Kiba'ula, there is nothing that we can do. We would love to feed you, but you need to help us. You need to be our friend. And friends help." Try that with me. Ready? Friends help. All right. Kiba'ula started to rebuild all of the houses he destroyed. And then he started to dig that huge hole in the ground. At that point, the adults who had been planning away stopped. And they saw what Kiba'ula was doing. They asked their children, Why is Kiba Ua digging a hole in the ground? He's going to fill it with water. We shall see. Kiba Ua dug. And he dug. And he dug. And he dug. Help me out with your hands, please. And he dug. 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 He dug so deep down that the people could barely even see him. They cried out, Kiba! There was no response. He kept on digging and digging and digging and digging and digging until the people noticed something. The hole started to fill with water. They cried out, Kiba! There was no response. He seemed to just keep on digging. Eventually, the hole filled up with water and then overflowed, filling in the cracks in the ground. The people thought to themselves, where did Kiba Ua go? Some say when his work was done, he just disappeared. Some say that he kept on digging down to the center of the earth. Others say it is because of him that there is the Lake Batur and its many, many rivers. They say it is because of him that the island of Bali is always green and full of rice and vegetables. If you visit the Lake Batur, you can actually see there is a sign there. It talks about a man named Kiba Ua. It tells the story of the giant. Now, you and I both know that giants don't exist. They are imaginary creatures. But yet, there are legends of people who are so tall and so big that it makes it seem like they are giants. It's up to you to figure out, where did Kiba Ua go? And what parts of that legend are true? And what parts are completely fiction? All right, friends, it is time for us to grab our airplane. Please reach up, grab that airplane. 1, 2, 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Arianna Ross again. Are you ready? Please buckle your seatbelts, buckle your seatbelts. Let's take off for our final destination, our homes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've made it. I'm back in my living room. I hope that you are back in your living room or your bedroom or wherever you are. I'm glad to be back. Let's unbuckle our seatbelts. Shh. Let's send this airplane up to the sky. 1, 2, 3. Now, I have a secret to tell you about that airplane. It doesn't just live in my home. It lives in your homes. So anytime you want to take a trip, all you have to do is rub a little magic in your hands and grab that airplane and fly to the next destination. Now, I will say, try not to grab that magic when you're supposed to be listening to your mom or your dad. If you want to take a trip with them, have them join you. Hold their hand. Show them your airplane. And if you're thinking to yourself, but man, I don't know enough about the world to take trips to it. I mean, I've never been to Indonesia. I've never even, some might say, been to the beach. Well, if you've never been to those places, that is what the library is for. You can go to the library and you can get books out, and you might be thinking, but the library is closed. I will tell you soon, the library will be open for curbside pickup, but also you can go online. You can find ebooks online. You can listen to books and you can read books about all sorts of places all over the world. My friends, it is time for us to bring this program to a close. I want to thank you so much for joining me on my adventure. I hope one day I'll get to meet you in person. I sure love telling stories with my friends at the library. Please give yourself a pat on the back for being a phenomenal audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Give yourselves a round of applause. Whoa! And please, thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful day.